I'm thinking about calling this Bust Your Bubble. Ta-da! Yeah, because a lot of us are living in a fantasy world, huh? Or so we have been taught or told. This is me just basically, yeah, busting the bubbles. Believing that celebrities are Illuminati or conspiracy theorists or being like devil worshippers or anything like that based on their artwork, the music that they put out, the lyrics, the fashion, the videos, all of this. It is it's very basic, because if you know the management behind a celebrity, it takes a village to produce a celebrity. What I mean is that the wardrobe, they don't decide themselves. They have fashion people for that. The music, the lyrics is sometimes written by somebody else and they have bought the rights. The melody, the instrumentals, same there, is some kind of DJ somewhere that have created this and sold it. When it's time to produce the music videos, you have art directors that are producing these videos. And so basically the celebrity is like a puppet. They just show up to work and do their thing and that's it. And we, the public, we are watching this and we think, oh, this is phenomenal, this is genius, you know, this is wonderful. Like, how could this person come up with this? Or this is catastrophic, like this is a devil worshipper. Look at them, they're doing the Illuminati sign and they are having red horns and, you know, like Beyonce, Doja Cat, many more celebrities. And I want to tell you guys, not to minimize the celebrities, most of these celebrities, they came directly from, I don't know, high school or something to famehood, or whatever you call it, to fame. So they don't usually have that so-called book smart or whatever. You thinking that a person like Beyonce, for example, she had a lot of her videos now is a red thread. It's very much spiritualism, West African spiritualism, mimicking the water goddess, Mami Wata, Oshun, Ogun, and all of this stuff, and the lyrics and everything. And then it's like, okay, this is the same woman that came and performed in South Africa, and she didn't pay any tribute to the Black South Africans. She went on an Indian wedding or something like that and posted that on her Instagram. And that made a lot of South Africans very upset, you know? So she had to change it up afterwards. So I'm just saying, you are talking about that same lady and think that she knows about West African spiritualism. Come on, huh? She have a whole team behind her that is creating this. She is basically just the face out. So that's why I'm like, don't be too quick to judge these people. Then on the other hand, you have people that are very intellectual, you know, and they're watering themselves down. Let's take Tupac Shakur as an example. Like, you have seen documentaries when he went to some kind of art school, theater school or whatever. And you can, like, when you read his lyrics and you see the interviews, he can actually answer. When they ask him, can you explain what was you thinking when you wrote this? You know, what was the meaning behind this? You can see that he knows what he's talking about, you know? He knows what he's talking about. The whole name Machiavelli, where it came from, this is historical. Talking about Mussolini, talking about, what was his name? Idris something. Do you understand? Like, this was a man that was already intellectual there. Do you understand? And now he's basically cosplaying against them. But most of the times, reality is the opposite. These people that have really gone through the gutter and know that, know the streets, but don't know the other, you know? So don't be so quick to be like, oh, this person is Illuminati, this person is a devil worshipper, this person is this person is that, and da-da-da-da-da-da. They don't pick and choose. They are literally puppets. Okay, speaking about celebrities, I saw this recently on TikTok. I'm telling you, a little side note, TikTok is the new platform to stay on, literally, because I'm not kidding with you. Somebody said it, like, Instagram is almost dying out. Like, Instagram is starting to feel like Facebook. It's like our parents are taking over, and it's basically people just monitoring you, watching. Like, it is strange, you know? And it's like everything is aesthetics, picture perfect, you know? While TikTok is a little bit more up and close. You know, people share like their thoughts, their views, they're very honest, direct, you know, it's a lot of discussions. It's basically like Twitter, but you have a face now, you know? It's not just a lot of text, like you have somebody actually talking this stuff. So that was the little side note. What I saw on TikTok was that a lot of people were talking about, it was a specific, what was it? It was a specific couple. I don't know if it was, what's her name? Tiny or something, like T.I.'s wife. Something happened to a relative to her or friend or something like that. And she went out online and started to ask the fans and people to basically collect money to help them get this person out from jail maybe, or just collect money to help them. And a lot of people were starting to be like, okay, but we are regular people with 9 to 5s, you know, and how the economy is looking right now, most of us can barely keep our head afloat, you know, pay the bills, rents, and all of this stuff, you know. And you sitting there with your millions and sometimes billions is going online and asking the common person, the regular person, you asking us for money? Come on, huh? So this happened even with, what was it? The Rock and Oprah. Like when the catastrophic event in Hawaii happened, the fire, you know? They went out, two very rich person, Oprah being a billionaire and The Rock probably a millionaire, going out asking people for donations, you know? And it's like, they probably have done something to help, but it felt so cringe, it felt so weird, you know, to have these super rich, famous people asking the common person for money when we know that Oprah alone with her money, she could have solved a lot of this and still have money left. So anyhow, speaking about Tiny, this lady was talking about that it's weird when celebrities does this and talking about these people have money and all of this stuff, like they don't deserve help like that. And I was thinking, and I was like, bro, haven't you seen interview with TLC? I think like this was in the early 2000s or something. They had like a press conference and they were literally talking. They were straight up honest. They said, you know what? We have sold platinum. We have done this. We have toured. We have been Billboard top, whatever, but we still don't have enough money. Like we are still living paycheck to paycheck because of just management and all of this stuff, you know, like, because when you sign people very young, like they, most of the time, they have like financial illiteracy or whatever it's called. They're just happy that they get a contract. Yes, I'm getting out of the gutter, you know, so they don't have like a lawyer or anybody present that can sit down with them and be like, don't sign this contract because this will be like a slave contract, you know, you will be stuck here for decades with these people and all of this stuff. So a lot of people early on in their career, they do this mistake by signing with the wrong people that are basically taking more than they're giving, you know? So I was just like, when you see some of these celebrities, just know that they have the title, they have the status, they go to the parties, they do all of this stuff. But on a regular basis, some of these people are regular schmegler. And I mean, like, when we talk about the money that they have, it's like money in selling records, you know, like imaginary money, but actual physical money that they have in their bank account. Sometimes a common person may have the same level as them. Do you understand? Or they have a little bit more than the common person, but not much more than, like, we think that it's a lot, but it's not.
Get rid of the unions. SAG has done nothing. Check this out. I made $12,000 for doing Hustle and Flow. And then on top of it, what Paramount did, instead of putting my name as Terrence Howard performing the songs, right, they put performed by DJ. Well, they own DJ. So guess what? The performance royalties went to Paramount. They went,
wait a minute. They didn't go to Terrence Howard. They went to
$12,000. That's all I ever made from Hustle and Flow. Everything else went right back into Paramount. So now I gotta sue Paramount or send them a letter.
Are you serious?
I gotta send them a letter letter to say, hey, you guys owe me about 20 years worth of residuals and performance royalties. But I didn't know, I was just trying to pay my rent then. I made $6,000 doing Crash. Crash didn't.
I remember the movie Crash. Yes, that's right. That's right.
The business don't pay actors anything. That's why the strike is going on. Actors are struggling.
As you and I were kind of joking earlier, it's hard out here for a pimp.
Yeah, it is hard unless you do it right.
And another thing that you need to think about, like Eva Longoria, whatever her name is, she was in the series. What was it called? The series is called Desperate Housewives, and she was talking also about that when she goes to like the red carpet events and all of this stuff, all of the dresses you see that she's wearing, the shoes and everything like that, it is rental, it is borrowed. She don't owe these dresses, you know? Like she will have it for a specific red carpet event and do some commercial or whatever. She get her little pay or whatever, and then she have to leave the dress back. So if you go home to her actual home, you won't find the dress there. You know, so I was thinking, most of these celebrities, it is like that. Even the homes that these people are living in is basically like, you're gonna live here now, and people gonna think that you live here. You're gonna do like a collaboration with this real estate, whatever. Do you understand? These people are literally like puppets. Like, oh my God, everything is credit, everything is borrowed, everything is not for everybody. Like you will have people like, I saw an interview with, what's her name? Missy Elliott. And she was talking about that she early on did good investments. She been saving and all of this. So she's one of those rappers that haven't gone bankrupt because she haven't been trying to keep up with the Jones or whatever. Like she has literally been like, you know what? I know that this career won't last forever. So I need to have a plan B, C, D, and more, you know? So she's living good now. She said she had no debts, no nothing like that. Everything is paid off. Everything she owns, everything she have is paid. No credits. A lot of celebrities can't say that. When I was talking about financial illiteracy amongst like up and coming celebrities and athletes, you know, like the NBA players, they get drafted early on. They are 16 or something, 17, you know, they're straight from high school. And maybe they come from a household where people have no money there, and now all of a sudden they are the breadwinners, you know? And you have a 16-year-old, 17-year-old that go from like not even having like an allowance to now having like fucking thousands and thousands, millions, you know, weekly, monthly. And you don't have any financial advisor like that, you know? It's gonna be catastrophic most of the time. So you will see these people do very fucked up stuff in the beginning of their careers, you know? Put themselves in debts that they will pay off for God knows, like Michael Jordan, Wesley Snipes. The list goes on, do you understand? So when I saw these people talk about, okay, that they thought that it was a little bit cringe that somebody as famous as Tiny, she's been famous since the 80s or something like that, is sitting online asking people for money. And it's like, bruv, like I said in another video, sometimes fame comes faster than the money. So you will have people having the followers, having the red carpet events, having all of this stuff, but they still have to maintain a 9-to-5 job. A lot of influencers are like that. A lot of influencers are like that. Oh, how am I gonna put this gentle? So I'm just gonna read this directly because the last take I took, it was so long. So let me just read it directly as I wrote. I wrote, when I spoke about having the right supporters / the right people on your team, I really meant it, because imagine people only supporting you because of the fear of losing money, opportunities, and jobs. Not because they really fuck with you like that, but just because they're afraid of losing opportunities. So whatever I just said now, try to apply that to whatever situation that is going on now around the world, and see that, bruv, some of these people that are quiet when it's injustice and stuff like that, don't be so quick to be like, oh, they're on their so-called enemy side or whatever. Do you understand? most of the time is fear-based. They want to keep their jobs, their titles, their everything. And for the people, the so-called enemy then, it can't feel good to be like, man, these people are only supporting me or only quiet or, you know, because of what I can do for them. Like generally, they don't give a fucks. They don't give a rat's ass. And you see them supporting other people in other countries and other organizations and that can't do anything for them at the moment. Or maybe ever, you know, because of financial restriction and whatever, they can't do jack shit for these people, but these people still choose to support them, you know, put their careers online, put a lot of stuff online, you know. I'm just saying, the right supporters is very crucial, to say the least. It almost remind me of Mean Girls. You know, like, what's her name? Oh, that girl, Regina George. Like, she literally thought that everybody loved her, everybody wanted to be her friend, and all of this stuff. And they did. But the thing is, like, they only wanted to be to her for the approximately, what do you call this? Like, famous by association or whatever you call it. You know, do you understand? Because she was popular and they knew that if they were in her presence, they could gain a lot of stuff. They could gain followers, friends, access to stuff that they couldn't access before, you know? So her per se, her personality, her being, it later came out, you know, that scene when everybody had to say something and none of them had anything good to say about her. And she was in shock. She was like, damn, am I this hated? And it's like, bro, these people only liked you because of what you could do for them, you know? That is sad. But that is like how it looks in some political aspects and in life in general. And you guys know exactly what I mean. For a lot of foreigners, I have noticed this. Like I said, I live in Europe, Scandinavia to be specifically. And you have over here a lot of foreigners that have their own stores. So you have Africans having African shop, Arabs, Asians, like everybody will have their own, you know, and you will find like delicacy and all of this stuff that is straight from home, that is hard to find here in the local market. But you will also have regular stuff that you can find in the big corporate stores. You know, you can find like rice, milk, eggs, all of this stuff. And I was thinking, I was like, why do these people do that? And I noticed, because here I live, we have like a street where all of the foreign boutiques are literally side by side. So the first one, African, the second one is Polish or something like that. Third one, Middle Eastern, and it keeps going like that. Everybody has their store, you know? And these people, they are making their money. People are going and buying there. Sometimes you will see even they're buying from each other. But when they go to the big corporate stores, and I mean like, for you guys that live in the United States, it would be like Walmart or something like that. Do you understand? Like the typical grocery stores. When they go to those places, they often buy like basic stuff. And when I say basic stuff, I mean like maybe flour, you know, to bake or something like that. Like some kind of juice or like a biscuit that is specifically from here. Like they will buy stuff like that. But when it comes to their meat, to their rice, to their vegetables sometimes, they always go to the corner store, the local store. And I'm like, okay, so I was thinking, why do these people do this? And then I saw a little clip on TikTok, and I have seen this on YouTube a long time ago too, where people are talking about fake food, fake products. And they are showing like, I will see if I can find it and I will put it here or link it or something like that. But they're basically showing you like one picture is of rice, and you can see that the rice is plastic. Do you understand? The rice is literally plastic. It's burning down on the surface, you know? Oh. And the other picture, they showed like, oh, how can you see if it's like a real honey or fake honey? And they're doing all of these tests. How can you see if this juice have a lot of chemical ingredients or if it's natural? I need to show you guys this video.
I've just realized so many things are fake. 1. Take the small cake your mum bought, place it in water, and give it a good rub. See what you end up with. Dare to eat it after seeing this? 3. Pour that 1 quid orange juice into a glass and stir with a paper towel. If it becomes clear, it's loaded with artificial dyes. 4. Add butter to hot water and stir with chopsticks. If it turns cotton-like after melting, it indicates synthetic butter. 5. Pour honey into a bowl and add cold water. Give the bowl a shake in one direction. If it forms stripes, it's fake honey. If it forms a honeycomb shape, it's genuine. 6. Apply vitamin C on a cut apple. The real deal can effectively slow down the rotting process. The fake one can't. 7. Drop a bit of iodine into cheese. If it turns black, it's harmful. If it remains yellow, it's natural.
Because literally, I went to the local store, like the typical, the whole grains, whatever you call it, you know, the big corporate store. I went and, because every month I buy food, like, I buy food a lot, but I have like, every month, I have like this big shopping, and I take my little shopping bag and I buy a lot that's gonna last for the whole month. So I went and bought like a big bag of rice, like almost 2 kilo, big bag of rice. And I came home and I started to cook this rice. And remember, I'm foreign. I have been eating rice since before I even got my teeth. Do you understand? So I know the difference. The jasmine, this basmati, and all of this stuff. Do you understand? Which one to use for what, cooking and all of this stuff. So I went home and I cooked this rice and I was like, bro, this is not rice. This is plastic. Like the way that it was looking, the way that it tasted, the way that it burned on this, not the surface, the bottom. Do you understand? I was like, bro, I understand now why people buy from the local stores, like the little stores. They understand that these people, they go through quality control. You know that the food and the vegetables that you will get there is not genetically modified like that. Like it's not sprayed with a lot of stuff. Like this is fresh stuff. It's natural, it's organic. But when you go to these big stores, everything is so, you know, the apples and everything is shiny, perfect, and all of this stuff. Do you understand? So lately, I'm just saying, I don't buy as much in these big stores, to be honest. Even if the small stores, they cost a little bit more, but it's like, bruv, this is your car, this is your vessel. This is what is God given to you, you know? You wouldn't put like regular oil, frying oil in a fucking Ferrari. You wouldn't. So why are you putting all of these nasty ass foods and chemicals and all of this stuff in you? It costs more, I get it. But you know what costs even more? To get sick, to get all kind of malnutrition and all of this stuff because you are eating the wrong kinds of food. I'm just saying. Ooh. So I don't know if this is like a bust a bubble, but yeah, I know I say this a lot, but I'm not the only one that has gone through this or will go through this. When you are a foreigner especially, you will always have like a hating older person, older generation, uncle or auntie. Sometimes it can even be like mother-in-law or father-in-law, usually mother-in-law, because they have time for nonsense like that. They will watch you grow up. They will watch your life unfold. They will see what kind of gutter you came from, that you didn't have the same smooth ride in life as their sons, their daughters, their whatever. Do you understand? They will see that. And they will see how you managing, how you handling, like maybe you're not successful like that, but you handling obstacles perfectly. And they know deep inside of them that if their kids was put in the same predicament as you, they wouldn't have lasted. They wouldn't. They know it. Because these people are, like I said, this is their children. This is their family members. Do you understand? So this is something that I have been experiencing a little bit, and it is people comparing, like when they cannot compare themselves directly to me, you know, because it's an age difference. Like this lady is in her late 50s. Do you understand? How are you gonna compete with me? I could literally be your daughter. If my mother was alive right now, she would have been in her late 50s as well. So imagine like competing But you have people doing that too. They will compete with their own children or nieces, nephews, and stuff like that. It is abnormal. It is mental. But you have people like that. But for some of these people that have this realization, like, no, I can't compete with this person like that. I'm a grown-ass person. This person, like, to get to the same level or even higher than me, they have the opportunity because they have 20 more years or 40 more years or whatever to get to that point, you know? So what do? They trying to use their so-called golden child. They will choose the so-called golden child, the one that they are proud over, you know, the one that is doing all of the extravaganza stuff, you know, that they can brag about. You know, they are studying to become something, or they are pursuing a career in something, or they are married and have children, like something that is deemed as successful in society's eyes. This is the golden child that they will use to try to use like a prop almost, you know, like, look at my daughter. Look at my daughter. She is so beautiful. She is so smart. She is already doing this and she's already accomplishing this and da 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 da. And it's like, bro, they are only doing this. They're only doing this because they know that the same child that they are bragging about, if they didn't have like the upbringing that they have, you know, they didn't come from the money that they come from. They didn't come from the household, the background, all of this that these people have, the privileges that these people have, and they would have been put in your situation, they wouldn't have lasted, you know? So it is something within these parents, like, it is abnormal. I'm not kidding with you. It is so sad. And it is often like, I know a lot of foreigners are talking about this. Like cousins will, you know, the parents will, oh, so what is your son doing right now? Okay, but my son is doing this and doing that and da-da-da-da. And it's like...
Congratulations to the happy couple, Tunde and Abiola.
Oh. Hello, Auntie. So good to see you, huh? Yeah. Auntie, tell me, how is your grandson?
My grandson? He is good, he is good. How is yours?
He is very good. In fact, here he is.
Hello, Auntie.
Look at him. So tall, eh?
Yes. He has grown. But it would appear my grandson is perhaps a few inches taller than yours.
Grandson, tell Auntie about your new job as a doctor.
Well, I've just started.
Thomas! Tell Auntie here all about your being a lawyer.
My grandson, he has been married for 5 years.
Thomas has been married for 7 years and produced 2 children.
Grandson, show Auntie a picture of your children. All 4 of them?
It's just a shame that their mother is a Jamaican!
My grandson has just completed an NVQ. My grandson, he has very broad shoulders.
Aunties! Please! This is a wedding!
Auntie, control your grandson now.
John, what are you doing? What are you? Get down.
No behavior. And the GP.
Go and get me water.
Hey, hurry up, small boy. Come on, get me coconut water.
Most of the times, they didn't have the same upbringing. Like the other one, the parents are still married. Like how many people can say that in their grown age that their parents are still married? And that does a lot. We have seen that psychologically. When you come from a 2-parent household, when you don't have to stress about money like that, when you don't have to think about all of this other extra stuff, your ride will be a little bit smoother. So I feel like when these people, most of the time women, foreign women, do this kind of comparison, they are out of line and they know it. Because they know, like, if you would have stripped their kids of all of these privileges, most of the time these people, they wouldn't have withstand any fucking wind, any fucking tribulation. They wouldn't. And this is what stings in these parents' eyes. Like, man, you really didn't have shit growing up. Like, you had like fucking gators and all of these obstacles in your fucking way, and look at you, huh? Not only resilient, but smart, beautiful, you know, caring, charismatic, all of this stuff. And then they're looking at their own child and they're like, oh. But they were still trying to, do you understand? Do like some kind of comparison. And it's like, bruv, you don't compare where you cannot compete. Do you know what I feel? When people do this, when foreign parents, when they do this comparison stuff, because the child that is the so-called golden child, most of the time, they feel like they have the burden on their shoulders, you know, like, oh God, if they do any mistake, like they know that everything is relying on them. It's very hard, you know, to keep up that role, to keep up that everything. But I'm just saying, like, what I saw, like, this was on Instagram. It was a lady, Afro-American lady. Her father graduated university and became a doctor in his late 50s or 60s or something like that. And you should have seen the comments. It was a lot of black people and African people that was like, yep, this is the picture that I'm gonna show my parents whenever they try to compare me to other people's children and say, oh, look at that person, they are doing so well in life. Why can't you be more like these people? Why can't you this? Why can't you that? They were like, okay, so I'm gonna show them this picture of this 50-something-year-old man that graduated medical school and be like, why can't you be like other people's parents? Why can't you also this? Why can't you, you know? It's very toxic. It's very, very, very toxic. Me, I grew up with my aunt a little bit, my mother's big sister and my cousins. And I'm telling you, this happened a lot. This happened a lot. Like, you are blood family. They want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than their children. They don't. Oh, the jealousy, the hate, and the witchcraft, all of this stuff starts sickness, I tell you.
So behind me is Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. Now, the reason why I want to speak about this is because I think sometimes we only view intelligence as one way, as like in the spectrum of academia, because that's the only intelligence that's truly focused on when we're in school. A lot of people really don't find their area of expertise until college, and if they don't go to college, as well into adulthood.
Before I found this video, I actually wrote something about this. This was back in 2019. So this is a post from that time. So I will see if I can post it here and you can just pause to read, but I will try to summon it up. So basically what I was talking about was the word smart. Like, I heard a lot of people, like, to be honest, the last time I heard that, when was it? It was yesterday. It was yesterday. It was two of my coworkers, and I know some of people will be like, man, you have a main character syndrome complex. Like, you really think people are sitting talking about you and everything, the world is resolving around you and all of this. And it's like, bro, I don't. I really do not. But I'm aware. I'm very aware. So I can't be gaslit anymore, you know, like I could back in the days. I know, or I can discern when stuff is to me or not to me. It's a lot of components, like I said, that need to fit for me to be like, this is an undercover message to me. You know, I don't just enter a room and think that everything stops because I entered. But anyhow, I heard two of my coworkers yesterday, they were talking about, man, but she is kind of smart. You know, like, they were shocked. It was almost like these people, like, the way that people have been portraying and painting me out on social media, like, and just people around me that I've been growing up with that didn't have the privilege to see that part of me, you know, and now they will do the talking. But she used to, and she this, and da 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 da. It's like, shut the fuck up, okay? Huh? And I was like, I don't like that word. I really don't like that word, you know, to say somebody's smart, somebody's dumb. I used to refer and quote a lot of stand-up comedians, and you have a comedian called Eddie Griffin. I love what he said. He said that most of the comedians that you see, you know, and that you love, they have been suffering from depression. They had come from a tough upbringing, and they have gone through hell and hot water, like a hero's journey almost. You know, they have gone through a lot. And he was like, from that pain is where you can find the art most of the time. Do you understand? And I was like, I agree. I agree. Like, you literally must have gone and seen a lot to be able to just, you know, zoom out like that and unveil the veil or whatever it's called and see reality for what it is, and then explain it in such a manner that regular people that sometimes have never gone through something like that would try to, you know, would understand this. Like, this is so out of, you know, my everything, my comfort zone, my ability, you know, but I understand it, and it's hilarious. You made something as tragical as that, like, hilarious. And and in this, I talked about a guy called Bill Burr. Bill Burr is very funny. We have like a Swedish version of him over here. They almost look the same, talk the same, like, it's hilarious. But he was talking about, what was it? He said that why black people get angry when a white athlete does something, and, you know, the commentators, they are like, oh, that's a clever move, that's a smart move, you know? They will often be like, this is clever, this is smart. But when a black person does this regularly, like, this is just like waking up and drinking water kind of for them, then you don't refer it as clever, as intellectual, as smart, as groundbreaking like that. You know, you just say, oh, nice move, or, you know, it's very basic, yeah? You know, when you listen to these commentators. So Bill Burr was basically saying that one of the reasons why they do this, when a white athlete does something that most of these black athletes can do, is because he's like, if you look at the odds, like, let's say the black person already have like the length, they're already like 2 meters long or something. They have been playing ball since they were like from the womb or something like that. You know, the stereotypical, like, they have this in their blood, basically. It's something that comes naturally to them, just like rhythm and all of this stuff. And then you see somebody that is like the underdog in that field. They don't have the rhythm, they don't have the, what do you call it, the motorique, and it's a lot of stuff that is lacking for them, but they still manage to do something similar or the same level. Then you know that these people have the, like, you know, like the math equation must have gone through the head, like, okay, how am I gonna to reach this? Do you understand? So this is basically what he was saying, but he was saying it in a funny way. The reason that he said is like this, it's like, yeah, you low-key expect the black athletes, or you just low-key expect people to just know this stuff. You just, like, you're supposed to do this stuff. And I gave some examples. So I was basically saying that the word smart, how people define smart, originate from comparison. Like, you making a comparison with the so-called status quo. You understand? And then I gave some examples. I was literally like, okay, so when you see some people say, oh, look at this prodigy child, you know, they're 4 years old, but they can already memorize the alphabet and hard mathematical equations and all of this stuff. Then you're making a comparison. You are looking at the typical 4-year-old, what they do, what they can, and you're seeing that, okay, so this is so-called abnormal, you know, for that group, for that, you know, whatever. So this person is executing, or whatever it's called, like, they are going up and beyond, you know, what their peers are doing. So that is considered smart then. Do you understand? And then I kept on giving examples. I was like, so let's take a soccer player, you know, the soccer player that does something like a trick or something, and this person is not Brazilian, and you know most of the time you can just expect Brazilians to be awesome at football. Like this is the stereotype, the positive stereotype that these people have got, that they are good when it comes to football, you know? So if you don't reach to that level, you are Brazilian and you suck at football, then it's like, wah, 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 you know? It's sad, but yeah. This kind of comparison to say that somebody's smart based on that the so-called status quo, like they are 4 years old, but they can do stuff that a typical 4-year-old cannot do. They are non-Brazilian, but they can do tricks and stuff like that that typical Brazilians can do. I said that you cannot use this kind of comparison to call somebody smart. Because it shows more of a lack of representation for that person in that field. Do you understand? That is all it's about. You know, like we haven't seen, like the more of these representations we get, like the more white people that we see can play basketball, the more whatever we see, they can do certain stuff that they're not typically connected to. Like they're not seen as the book smart people, they're not seen as street smart or whatever, and you see more and more from that specific group or specific gender or something starting to do that. It's not going to be considered as a intellectual, I'm losing the words, but it can't, you know. So this is basically just showing that you are like a gold corn. That is all it's showing, you know. But it's like, does it take away from all of these other people that are doing it constantly? So are they not smart? Are they not intelligent? Are they not all of this stuff? Just because they have more representation when it comes to that field? What I was trying to say with all of this was that for me, I mean, smartness may be and differ from different people. Like that guy from TikTok, he gave some examples. I suggest that you go and watch the rest, because if I'm gonna put everything here, it's gonna be a long ass video. So I was saying that originality, I feel like that for me is smartness. That you will be like, okay, you know, like, especially in this day and age, this is what I wrote. In this day and age, when we are being bombarded every day, everywhere, so much information, so much new stuff, all over the, you know, all over the web, and you're gonna try to keep your originality, you're gonna try to come up with something new, and you don't know, like, you may be sitting at home in your little apartment and you come up with a brilliant idea, but you don't know, like, in that specific time, 5 minutes before you or 2 years before you, somebody else may have come up with the same, if not better. Do you understand? But I'm just saying, so originality, I'm like, it's harder nowadays. It is. It's harder nowadays with originality, because basically everything that we see, that we take in, like everything has been written already, it's been said already, it's been done already. So all we are doing, we are taking old stuff and we are just making it new, basically. Making it new, changing up a little bit. Do you understand? It's not like, nowadays it's very seldom that a new song comes out that you can listen to and you don't feel like, man, I kind of heard this song before, you know? And you can find like a similar song from back in the days or just a few years ago. It is hard, huh? When it comes to fashion, the same thing. It's hard to find like a new garment, new clothing that you're like, man, this is innovative. I never seen this before. And you go back, and you're like, bruh, I never seen this at all. This is what I mean for me is smartness. And you have some of these people, you have some of these, what do you call it? Inventment. Is it called inventment? You invent something, yes, yeah. You have a lot of these people that are doing all of this stuff, and that takes a lot. Do you understand? To be like, okay, I see what's trending. I see what's been popular before. And it is hard as fuck to come up with something super duper original like that. And you like, okay, let me take something from that and let me switch it up so much. Let me use my own everything so much that when people get this new thing, it's literally a new thing, huh? It's almost like somebody giving you like, they giving you an apple. This apple is from the 1960s. And you like, man, I like the shape, I like the color, I like all of it, you know? The density, I like it. But I want to change it up a little bit, you know? So what happens? This generation would have created something like this. Do you understand? You can still see some similarities, color, you know? The shape is changed a little bit and all of this stuff, but they would do something like that. So you will know like, okay, it originated from this. We can still see patterns of this in that, you know? But I'm talking, when I'm saying smart, I'm saying like, bam. Imagine creating something like this out of this, but you can still deep dive and see that it has common dominators, you know? Bro, I don't know how to explain this, but I really miss the old so-called philosophical me. Like this was, I had time before, bro. Especially when I was in the United States, because people mind their own business over there, you know? So when you are sitting on the bus, you can literally just zoom out and just think and reminisce and all of this stuff, you know? Don't have to worry about this, think about that, At least for me at that time, you know, I missed that. Okay, so it was supposed to be like 10 statements or something, 10 busting bubble, jaw-dropping. It's not so jaw-dropping. Some of this stuff people will be like, I knew this, we know that, this is not new, whatever. But you know what I'm trying to say, you know? So I don't know if it's 10, but I think it's maybe 9. So if I come up with the last one, you will see a different wardrobe. Just know that I have later on. But anyhow, the last one was, you know, it's been a lot of talk about a TikToker called Keith Lee, a guy that is a food critic. A food critic with no credentials, meaning that he hasn't gone to any culinary school or anything like that from what I have read and seen. Like this is a regular schmegler person that is just walking around, going to different restaurants in the United States and trying their food and basically rating them, you know, customer service, food, and just overall. And he keeps giving them points like 2.5, 2.3, 5 point this, you know? When you open up a restaurant, like most of the times, like the kind of people that you want, everybody have a dream when they open up a business, you know, and the kind of customers you want and all of this stuff. But in reality, we're gonna be honest, it's the small people, it's the regular people that is making you. Do you understand? It's not these A-list celebrities or something. Like they will maybe come once a year, once every decade, or just one time, that's it, and try your food. But the people that will continuing coming and tell the neighbors, you know, word to mouth and all of this, it's the regular folks. So these are the people that you need to put more care and everything in. Do you understand? Because these are the people that will maintain your business. Even a lot of celebrities are starting to understand that, you know? Why do you think like when they win a Grammy or something like that, they will of course thank God for the religious ones, but they will thank their fans. Do you understand? Because they know that these are the people that buy your CDs, that download your music, that pay for your concerts. Do you understand? These are the people that are putting money in your pocket, literally. Without them, there wouldn't be no checks, there wouldn't be no Rolls Royce, there wouldn't be any of that stuff. So all of these sucking up to the higher position people that can't, or most of the time they won't do much for you. Like they will go to your restaurant, but they won't take a picture and put it up on their stories or anything like that. They won't give you any props like that. You will just be the one that will be like, oh, I had X, Y, and Z celebrity eating at this place. That's it. But the celebrity themselves, they won't say much about your place. They will just come there, eat, and be like, oh, it was good or whatever, and then bounce. And they will still pay the regular price and everything like that. But it's the small people that will keep you afloat, keep the business rolling. So long story short, this Keith Lee situation, I didn't even want to, comment, because I've seen a lot of people already debunk this so much. But I was like, man, he had a lot of people, like the internet made it seem like he had a lot of supporters, that he had a lot of people that agreed with him, and people went and did YouTube videos defending him, saying that because he went to a restaurant and he gave them a bad review because they treated him like they treated his family members, like his wife and his mother and all of these people that he came with. They treated them like regular folks, like bad. They didn't get seated, they didn't this, they didn't that, But as soon as they saw that it was Keith Lee or something like that, that he was this famous TikToker, and they knew that by him saying like a good word or something like that, it can change a lot for them. Business-wise, more revenue, more customers, more everything, So they treated him better, and he was basically trying to be like this hero or something, saying that I don't want I don't want to be treated different, I want to be treated like everybody else. I want customer service like everybody else. So they were trying to make it seem like people were defending him because this restaurant was not happy with him. They were not happy with him. They were basically saying that he was trying to tear their business apart, that he gave black business owners a bad rep and all of this stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, I do agree with them a little bit. I do agree with them, and I know it's a lot of people that agree with them, but the narrative that is being pushed out is that people agree with what's his called? With Keith, And I was like, okay, so one of the topics that I have here, one of the points, one of the statements that I have here is that, believe it or not, a lot of people have more in common with the so-called villain, with the perpetrator, with the bottom of the barrel person. Do you understand? So this whole thing when Keith was trying to be like, let's just say you have more people being perpetrators than being saint-like good people in reality. Do you understand? Like on social media, you will have people throwing people under the bus for not being saint-like or doing godly stuff or being like a so-called perfect human. Do you understand? You will have people, and people will like this stuff and they will comment and all of this stuff. But when you log off and you yourself go on about your day, your life and everything, you have more in common with the villain, with the perpetrator, than you have with any saint. And most people know this. Most people know this, but then you have some delusional people that don't, So that's why you have seen a lot lately, people are starting to so-called defend the villain probe, or whatever you should call it. Like they have I think it's a meme or something that started like a trailer. And they will show like old series, old films. And they will show like, okay, so this is the villain that was presented to us. This is the real villain. But in reality, after you've seen this, after you have grown a little bit, matured a little bit and all of this stuff, you start to see it like three-dimensionally, and you understand that this is actually the real villain. I don't know, but they have a thread with a lot of books, a lot of movies, a lot of series, and they will be like the villain versus the actual villain. Do you understand? So it's not that I'm saying that society is being more pro-villain. It's just that people are starting to wake up to the fact that we have more in common with the perpetrator, the villain, the bottom of the barrel person, the scum, we have more in common with that person, to be honest, the majority of people, than the saint-like, God-like, perfect human being. Those exist, but not as much. And I think in Keith Lee's situation, a lot of people that took the restaurant owner's side are the same people that like I said, villain versus the real villain. They people, even if all of us have in some shape or form in our lifetime experienced bad service. You know, it doesn't matter where, but we have experienced bad service. We have more likely experienced criticism, being prejudged or misjudged. Like, it's more likely that we have gone through all of those stuff, you know? So we can have like sympathy for this restaurant owner and be like, okay, so this person was just trying to, like, you know yourself. That's why I keep saying, like, we people, we do have more in common, to be honest, but we don't show that because, you know, everybody's trying to be like this perfect whatever on social media. But if everybody was really, really truthful, you would be like, damn, a lot of stuff that you guys are talking about online, and you are collectively like, this is wrong and we don't accept this and this is unacceptable, and you will be shocked in reality how many people will look between the fingers when it comes to a lot of this stuff and be like, it's not that bad, you know, to be honest, like these people are exaggerating, you know, like it could have been worse. I'm gonna be honest, in reality, I don't think a lot of people was on Keith Lee's side. I think like when you really see the whole thing going down and you start to dissect the whole thing, that man, this person is literally unqualified critic with no credentials. When you start to understand that and you be like, damn, okay, so you mean that your little review is gonna just, do you understand? It's a lot of owners that are out there that see this and they're like, damn, you know, like you have a bad day as owner. You know, I haven't had my own business like that, but I have common sense to be able to put myself, because I have been working in the restaurant as a server, as dishwasher, as all of this, whatever. I have been in that field working. And I can tell you, this whole customer service thing and all of this stuff is like, bruh, come on. You know, for some of us, just go there, get your food, and that's it. All of this extra stuff, like, come on, bruh. Huh? If you wanted like a whole theatrical this and that, the red carpet rolled out for you and people juggling balls and all of this stuff, then bruh, huh? Go and see Circus du Soleil. You know, but when you go to places like a restaurant, you go there to eat. When you go to a store, you go there to buy clothes. Do you understand? When people are talking about this customer service thing, it's like, bruv, you guys need to understand that there are levels to this. I spoke about this with one of my coworkers. He was working at the bar then, and he had a random guy that came, didn't even buy anything, was standing there for 1 hour talking about nihilism with him. And my coworker, like, bruh, God bless you, because I couldn't, you know? But he was standing there talking to this person and listening while this person didn't buy jack shit. Do you understand? And do you think that this person will go online later and write like, you know what? Very good customer service, huh? The staff are doing up and beyond and talk and listen to the customers and do the little extra. I felt like that was not the little extra. That was the bunch of extra. That was the humongous extra. You're not paid to be his shrink or philosophy teacher. You are here to work in the reception and sometimes the bar. Do you understand? The most of the conversation that you should be doing could be surrounded around that. If they want you to juggle and do all of this extra stuff, you know, and be some kind of performer, like I said, go and see Circus du Soleil, you know? I'm just saying. So this whole thing got me thinking about that, yeah, most people actually do have more in common with the so-called bad people, the rotten eggs, the bad apple, the perpetrators, the villain, the whatever you want to call it, you know? Most people in reality have more in common with those than they have with anything else. Okay, so this is one of the reasons we have terms as Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is basically, it's about like this whole word it originated from, I think it was like a bank robbery situation here in Sweden, Stockholm. And this bank robber took a lot of people as hostage for several hours. And eventually, you know, the police and everybody came, but eventually the people that was kept hostage, they started to develop this so-called empathy, sympathy for this robber on a level where they actually collaborated with him. You know, so they call this the Stockholm Syndrome now, that you will see somebody being the villain, doing something that is socially not correct, you know, like robbing a bank. but you will still find it in your heart to forgive this person, to find humanity and compassion and understanding for that person. And sometimes on a level where you actually you're like, nah, you know what? I feel bad for you. I know that you are in this bank robbing right now. You breaking the law, but something must have put you in this situation. And you start to look at yourself in your life. You're struggling every day to pay bills. You're doing your 9 to 5 and all of this, and Sally Mae or whatever you call it. Like, they take your tax money, all of this stuff, you know. And as soon as you, the little person, is trying to get up on them, because they always get up on you. You know, when they owe you money, they're very slow to give that money back. But when you owe them, you know, the whole SWAT team. SWAT. I was like, imagine SWAT team. Hey, open up the door, huh? Or we will bust this open. But imagine, like, I think this is one of the reasons, like I said, more people have in common with these people. Like, we want to believe that we are good people deep down, and we are, you know, but we are faulty humans. And thank God that the Most High understand that. We as a collective, we don't always do that. And especially when you are pushing out narrative on social media, this is right, this is wrong, and you see a lot of people are agreeing on that, and you don't want to be on the other side of the spectrum. Do you understand? But it's like, in reality, if you guys meet up, you have a little bonfire, you sit down, you share stories and all of this stuff, you would see that a lot of people are okay with a lot of stuff that you didn't think. And I'm telling you, in the future, when I start to get more information about all of this fuck shit that has been said and going on around me, and I will really be able to share some of my stories, what I have been encountering and seeing and going through when it comes to people, you guys will be shocked. I'm the evil Knievel right now in some people's eyes. But if you guys, I'm telling you, it is a scary world. It is a scary world. And then, you know, like the red pill community. This is like beta males for most times. Like, they don't have any experience like that, but they will give younger guys often what to do and not to do. And it's very misogynistic and sexist and, you know, ooh, old school, you know, treat her like this and she will obey you and all of this stuff, you know. Sometimes I feel like these people are like, they are making a mockery. Like, these men, they can't be for reals, you know. And these young guys that cannot read between the lines, and they don't know sarcasm and all of this stuff, they don't understand that these people are just making fun, you know. It's almost like Beyonce is happily married, but she's singing, I'm a single ladies, I'm a single ladies. And it's like, bruh, some people actually look at this, listen to this, and be like, bruh, no. You are not the correct person to give me any kind of single ladies advice, okay? This is the same thing I feel like when it comes to these red pill people. Like, they don't understand a lot of these men are not as they portray themselves to be. They are not. These are the same people that you will probably find in a bed with some kind of ball in their mouth, like, spank me. Like, do you understand? These are the same type of men, I'm just saying, most of the times. But anyways, I was like, this is one of the reasons why they have been, the whole community have been skyrocketed, you know. This was especially like 2020 up to like almost last year, it started to die out a little bit. But it was a period where this was the only thing trending on social media and YouTube. You know, these men just sitting there giving out tips and tricks and all of this stuff to young men, how to treat women, how to talk to women. And it was based on just being a douche, you know, a straight up douche. And I'm like, okay, so this era came out after the so-called political correct era had been, you know, because it was an era where everybody was feministic. I'm doing this for women, and women is the future, and power to women, and equality, and, you know, like, it was a time, I remember I saw this on Instagram. It was an American lady that traveled to Denmark, and she was so shocked because she was like, she thought that the Danish man was very attractive. And she was sitting at a coffee shop or something, and she said, why isn't anybody looking or trying to take like the first step forward? Like nobody's hitting on anybody here in Denmark. Like, what's the deal, you know? Like, I'm a lady, I want to be treated like a lady. Like, I don't want to put the pants on and be like the one that pursue you. I want to be pursued. I'm old school like that. So she was like, what's up with Danish men, you know? And then a lot of people in the comment was explaining that, you know, the whole feministic era, the whole political correct era was very much a big thing here in Scandinavia. You know, other European countries, not as much maybe, but it was a big thing here in Scandinavia. So it became to that level where men were now afraid to even breathe in the same room as women. Because if y'all remember, every other week, any guy that had said or done something, people were digging from past stuff, you know, that they had let slide. And now when they were like, okay, now it's not socially acceptable anymore. Like back in 2008, 2009, this was socially acceptable, nobody gave a fuck. But now when we are in this political correct era, it's not correct. So they started to dig in past stuff and started to hang out a lot of these people. You know, this person touched me appropriately. This person looked at me in a funny way. This person called me sweetheart. Do you understand? So it was a lot of this stuff. So eventually, like these specifically Scandinavian men were like, you know what? I don't want to be on the news for any fuck shit. Do you understand? So it came to that level, like they're like, you know what? Let women take the first everything, you know? Consent, basically. But the whole consenting went to the extreme, you know? So this is one of the reasons why this American lady, when she came, they probably thought that she was beautiful and fun and all of this stuff and wanted to approach her. But considering the status quo over here, they were like, nah, we can't risk that, you know, be on the news next week, you know, because I said that American woman was beautiful and now I'm a pervert, a sexist or whatever. Do you understand? So that was the comment. So I was like, yes, this is one of the theories that I have why the red pill community, like why it became a big thing like that, you know, because everybody had been walking on eggshells for so long now. You know, and this was wrong, this was that, this was da-da-da-da-da-da. And now all of a sudden you had men that was like, no, we're not gonna live in fear anymore. You know, we get it. It's not good to touch on women that you don't know or just touch on somebody without their consent. Like, we understand that. We understand that this is wrong, that this is wrong, that this is wrong. Like, it's basic common sense. But some of this stuff has gone too far, you know? So now these people were like, okay, so now it's our time. And it's our era, you know? So it became like male, feminist, machinist, or whatever you would call it then, you know? And I feel like this is like this with everything in society. It's like this with everything in society. It is. So I keep saying, everybody will have their era. So the feministic era was, the political correct era was at the same time. So this is one of the reasons afterwards, this whole, what you call this, red pill mambo jumbo became a thing. Do you understand? That's it.